What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, and yes, we're back with some Jennifer Rush. And before you say it, I am aware this reaction was supposed to come a few days ago. For whatever reason, that's the second time I've forgotten to do the fortnightly Sunday J Rush reactions, so ultimately I do apologize. We will do one today. I will get back to the normal routine. I guess it would be not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after that. But between today and that second Sunday from now, I will do the next Jennifer Rush video reaction. And once again, shout out to Darren not only for sending the Jennifer Rush material and providing great insight and commentary, and there's a couple others who've been providing a lot of information and perspective on their views on Jennifer's songs, but he did also provide a playlist to go through for her music videos in a way that will be chronological and make sense, and he provided some context and commentary. So yes, before today and the Sunday after next Sunday, I will do the next J Rush video reaction. In any case, we are returning to Passion 1988, and I do enjoy that this is the biggest text size that has been on the back of these CD covers, which are like, they're clearly like done in the style of the original vinyl cover, but then everything shrunk down. But as I said, the text on this one is a little bit bigger, so I can actually read it without straining or using my cell phone to cast light onto it. And the next track is Remind My Heart. So yeah, the idea of a heart having memory, I'm very amused by. It feels like it's apropos because, of course, you know, enough time passes or situations change, and you know, your heart, your feelings, your emotional core begins to adjust or become attuned to different circumstances and conditions. But if exposed to, and of course we are talking about the brain, I won't get into a long neurological discussion, but our brains are actually the seat of our heart in a, you know, philosophical or literary sense. You know, our feeling, our emotions, they are actually centered up in our brain, but we feel it in our chest and throughout our bodies because of our endocrine system and ultimately our physiology. So of course it makes perfect sense the way that in literature and culture and, you know, traditions in societies, the heart is seen as the heart or the seat of emotion. Nevertheless, the point is, I like the idea of a heart in that literary sense having a memory, because again, when you're exposed to circumstances that are similar, or when you look back at, you know, photographs or a letter, or you're just reminded of a past situation where your heart felt something, then of course it can come flooding back to you very viscerally, sometimes feeling, for all intents and purposes, like your heart, your emotions are suddenly there, or at least they remember it in a very tactile or direct sense. So yeah, I like the phrase. And of course, Remind My Heart is actually like a half step back from that, because it's requesting such a visceral return to some earlier emotional understanding. It's a request, an entreaty, a plea for someone to remind your heart of what it felt before, and maybe, by extension, to rekindle your heart and your feelings to get back to that place in the present or more permanently. So let's see what Jennifer has to say about it. This is Jennifer Rush. The tune is Remind My Heart, and it's from her 1988 album Passion.
Think by now I know
feel like her vocals are like a faucet. She can instantaneously like open the flow more powerfully, like turn it down to get a little more intimate and soft in some passages. But yeah, she has great vocal control, not just the power of her belts or the range of her like pitch control, but she really has like this ability to fluctuate intensity quite quickly. And again, when she goes from a lower intensity to a rapid or to a larger intensity very quickly, it can be rather striking and like really catches my brain. So yes, I think she once again sounds great here, and there's a lot of force behind some of the lines. And yeah, so okay, number one, I feel like she is wanting her heart to be reminded, but not in the way I was thinking. She wants her heart to be reminded by herself, presumably, that she needs to be careful. She needs to affect some self-control. Shout out to Laura Branigan. But yeah, the idea that if she's not careful or if she's not wise as she should be, she'll end up going so intensely with the feeling of her heart, with that love, that she'll end up crying. And that, love, yes, it can make you happy, but it can also leave you very upset and make you cry. And if you just let your heart free without any care or any consideration of the dangers at hand, then you can end up getting burned, or you might feel worse than you did before you started. Thus, of course, raising the question, is it better to love and lose or to never love at all? And I suppose it depends on the context and the person. But yeah, she seems to be saying that she knows that she's bound to be passionate, like the album title, but also understands that that can get you into trouble if you just let it run completely unfettered or without some reins to pull it back, or to recognize that you might want to close it off if you're in a particularly vulnerable emotional state. So yeah, it was sort of what I was thinking, but faced in a completely different direction. And I do enjoy the like those like synth chords, especially in the chorus. Like there was this high, I don't know if it was like a xylophone or like chime type of synth run, but there was like this higher, very like elegant melody at the top of the track in the chorus, and I particularly liked that melodic run. But there were also those like kind of bigger and more dramatic, like orchestra, like stab type of synth lines, and those were also enjoyable. But overall, I would say it was a not minimal track, but there weren't all that many moving parts. It wasn't like super dense and layered to where it's like you're kind of having to like sift through it in your brain to hear, which I don't like. My brain hears music in a very spatial sense. I've talked about this in a lot of techno reactions, and of course, when I'm talking about at the top of the track, I suppose it should be implied. But yeah, my brain it sees spatial dimensions and movement, both relative and internal or individual, with the different sounds. And I don't know if that's like a slight form of synesthesia, but yeah, ultimately this track was spacious in that there were only a handful of ingredients, so I could kind of see and identify their movement and their shape much more easily. Whereas again, in some tracks, there's so much going on that it's like hard to unpack it in the way that my brain does at first. So yeah, not minimal per se, but a bit more stripped down compared to some, comparable type of synth pop tunes. But yes, I enjoyed it, and I enjoy, especially as I said, those moments where Jennifer just like opens the faucet of her vocal power on a sudden part of a line, or like just on a few words at the end of a line. So, or sometimes at the beginning of a line. So yeah, another cool one from Jennifer. As I said, I will come back for the normal J Rush reaction the Sunday after this coming one, and between now and then I will do a J Rush video reaction. When we do come back, it'll be Keep All the Fires Burning Bright. I like that. Again, there's like, she clearly operates in the realm of songs about emotion and feeling, but in a nuanced, complex, and not straightforward black and white type of way, which I very much enjoy. But there's a lot of metaphor in her songs when it comes to those emotions. There's a lot of like visual and figurative meaning to express the, what's the right word, not just ambiguous, but the like ephemeral, or those things which we have a hard time putting into the semantic hardware of language, but which everyone more or less will know by feeling or sort of intuition. So, yeah, it's a shout out to her and her songwriters. Do let me know what you think of this one. Shout out once again to Darren. Let's see what you do here, Luca. I'm gonna try to give you the chair. You're like in the liquid phase of matter. Yep, she's gonna check out Jennifer. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.